had not mentioned a creature of this magnitude. As the demons circled him, Nosa took a deep breath, muttering a protective incantation, hoping his words would shield him. But the demon merely laughed, an unsettling, hollow sound. "Your charm is no match for me, mortal. This mansion is mine," it snarled, lunging forward with terrifying speed. Nosa barely dodged as the demon's claws sliced through the air, missing him by inches. Thinking quickly, he rolled out of reach, his mind racing. He knew he was no match in strength, so he would have to rely on wit and speed. Welcome to the Savannah Storytellers channel, where we give you the best African talks, love stories, folklore, and more. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support. Now back to the story. In a remote village hidden beneath wide skies and ancient baobabs, there was an old mansion, once magnificent but now shrouded in darkness. This mansion, with its towering walls and arched windows, stood on a hill overlooking the entire village, casting an eerie shadow over the land. For generations, the villagers whispered about it, warning their children to stay far away. The mansion belonged to a powerful man named Chief Ogie. Once, he had been a beloved leader, wise and respected, known for his generosity and charm. But as he tasted the spoils of power, something dark began to fester within him. Chief Ogie became greedy, corrupt, and even cruel, a far cry from the leader he once was. Driven by ambition, he seized the villagers' land, taxed them mercilessly, and used his authority to bend their will. He oppressed everyone in the village, taking from the poor, silencing those who protested, and ruling over them with an iron hand. Yet despite his wealth and power, Chief Ogie remained unsatisfied, constantly searching for more to add to his fortune, no matter the cost. Little did he know, his greed would soon cost him more than he ever anticipated. One stormy night, a mysterious old woman came to the village seeking shelter. She carried a single pouch tied with a red thread and whispered warnings of misfortune if she were turned away. Chief Ogie, blinded by pride and disdain, mocked her appearance and commanded his guards to throw her out. But before she left, she pointed her crooked finger at the mansion and muttered words that sent shivers down the spines of everyone who heard. "You and your kin will know no peace within these walls. Until the day your bloodline ends, the mansion shall trap your spirits in endless sorrow." The chief laughed, thinking her words meaningless, but soon strange things began to happen. Each of his sons and daughters fell ill one by one. The walls of the mansion creaked, voices whispered through empty halls, and shadows moved when no one was there. Soon, the mansion was abandoned, left to rot under the weight of its curse. Present day, years turned to decades, and the mansion remained untouched, a dark silhouette on the hill. The village elders warned of spirits that roamed its halls, seeking escape. Children dared each other to get close, but never ventured too far. Only one man dared approach, Nosa, a young farmer desperate to save his family from poverty. Hearing rumors of hidden treasures within the mansion, Nosa decided he would enter and end the curse. Before the village elders, he declared his mission. They warned him gravely, but knew he was determined. So they gave him a charm made from white chalk and herbs to protect him against the restless spirits. One full moon, Nosa stood at the base of the hill, gazing up at the mansion. It loomed like a shadowed giant against the starry sky, its broken windows resembling eyes watching his every move. He had heard the stories all his life. The mansion was cursed, haunted by spirits restless for peace. But Nosa had no choice. His family needed the wealth rumored to be hidden inside, and he had sworn to lift the curse or die trying. With a deep breath, he started up the winding path. Each step seemed heavier than the last, as if the air itself were trying to hold him back. The thick scent of earth and decay grew stronger as he approached the mansion's towering wooden doors, which creaked under his touch, opening slowly to reveal a cavern of darkness. Inside, the silence was overwhelming, broken only by his own echoing footsteps. He gripped the charm the village elder had given him and whispered a prayer, his voice barely a breath in the stale air. Shadows clung to the walls, and a faint breeze whispered through the corridors, carrying the distant sounds of voices, cries and whispers of a time long past. For a moment, Nosa hesitated, but then he remembered his purpose, the faces of his family, their hopes resting on his shoulders. With renewed resolve, he stepped further into the shadows, deeper into the heart of the cursed mansion, ready to face whatever spirits lay in wait. With each step, Nosa felt the air grow colder, as if the mansion itself were breathing. He moved deeper into the darkness, clutching his charm, its faint scent of chalk and herbs the only comfort in the eerie silence. Suddenly, he heard a low growl echo through the hall, a sound that seemed to seep out of the walls, as if the mansion itself were alive and watching him. As Nosa reached the grand hall, he was struck by a strange, overpowering energy that froze him in place. From the shadows emerged a monstrous figure, towering over him with piercing, fiery eyes and skin like cracked stone. Its arms were long and jagged, with claws sharp enough to carve through rock. It was a demon, an ancient, ferocious spirit bound to the mansion, guarding Chief Ogie and his family's cursed souls. The demon's voice rumbled like thunder. "Who dares enter my domain? None shall free the cursed souls of Alyamide's kin." Nosa's heart pounded, but he steeled himself, gripping the charm tightly. He remembered the words of the village elder, who had warned him of spirits but had not mentioned a creature of this magnitude. As the demon circled him, Nosa took a deep breath, muttering a protective incantation, hoping his words would shield him. But the demon merely laughed, an unsettling, hollow sound. "Your charm is no match for me, mortal. This mansion is mine," it snarled, lunging forward with terrifying speed. Nosa barely dodged as the demon's claws sliced through the air, missing him by inches. Thinking quickly, he rolled out of reach, his mind racing. He knew he was no match in strength, so he would have to rely on wit and speed. Nosa drew a piece of chalk from his pocket and began to draw a protective circle on the dusty floor, but the demon, sensing his intention, roared in fury and swept its arm across the room, knocking furniture and debris toward him. Nosa jumped back, heart hammering, narrowly avoiding the broken shards of wood and glass flying his way. He circled around, trying to complete the protective ring while keeping an eye on the demon. With each step, he whispered blessings, each word charging the chalk circle with energy. But the demon's attacks grew fiercer, and a sudden swipe of its claws grazed Nosa's shoulder, drawing blood. Ignoring the pain, Nosa finished the circle and stood inside it, his charm now glowing faintly. Enraged, the demon slammed against the invisible barrier, its growl reverberating through the mansion's walls, shaking dust and cobwebs from the ceiling. Its red eyes flared as it tried to break through, but Nosa's protective circle held firm. The demon howled in frustration, hissing words in a forgotten language, clawing at the barrier with an intensity that shook Nosa to his core. The standoff stretched on, with Nosa chanting every protective phrase he knew, each one weakening the demon. Slowly, its fierce growls became softer, its monstrous form shrinking with every chant. Nosa pushed through his fear, never faltering, until finally, with a desperate cry, the demon collapsed in a wisp of black smoke, fading into nothingness. Exhausted and bleeding, Nosa leaned against the wall, feeling a heavy silence settle around him. But as he caught his breath, a faint glow began to fill the grand hall. The shapes of ghostly figures appeared before him, their forms gentle and sorrowful, as if suspended between worlds. Leading them was Chief Ogie, his face etched with deep regret and sorrow, his spirit worn and weary. Chief Ogie stepped forward, his eyes filled with remorse, and bowed his head. His voice, though soft, carried a weight that felt centuries old. "Nosa," he said, "I wronged the people of this village. My greed, my pride. It destroyed not only my family but cursed this land. We have suffered in these walls for generations, unable to find peace. Only the forgiveness of a villager can lift this curse." Nosa, still trembling from his encounter with the demon, felt a surge of pity and understanding. He looked into the chief's hollow eyes and saw a man broken by his own choices, chained to his mistakes and seeking redemption. With a steady voice, Nosa spoke the words the chief and his family had waited lifetimes to hear. "Chief Ogie, I forgive you. May you and your family find peace." At his words, a warm, golden light enveloped the spirits, and for the first time in generations, they smiled. The curse lifted, and as each spirit dissolved into the light, Nosa felt a rush of relief, as if a heavy weight had been lifted from the land. When Nosa returned to the village, he found that the curse had finally lifted, and the mansion no longer loomed like a dark cloud over their lives. The villagers rebuilt it as a community center, a place of healing and unity, a reminder of the power of forgiveness and humility. They learned that greed and pride bring misfortune, and that forgiveness, even for the darkest wrongs, holds the power to heal and redeem. Our elders says, greed eats up the heart of the proud, but forgiveness is a balm for the restless spirit. If you like this story, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'd like to hear from you. Drop a comment on what you think about this story. See you next time.